trying to relate to an experience that I had where I was just suddenly realized that I was completely nowhere to go. I couldn't, every corner was a dead end. And I remember it happened when the very first time I realized that I didn't recognize faces. I'd come out of hospital, and I had some friends over, and I recognized my friends. That was fine. And then we started watching Friends, the American program Friends. And I've watched that, like most people have watched every episode, and they know the program like their left hand or right hand, whatever that is. And I remember watching it, and I recognized every single voice, but I didn't recognize one face. And so I said to my friend, I said, why are they playing a spoof version? And she was like, what do you mean? I said, well, they've got exactly the same voices, but they're completely different people. And she was like, no, this isn't a spoof version. This is real. And, she could tell I was getting upset. And so she was obviously just telling me that this, she wasn't joking. This really was real. And that was the first time I realized that I really had a long way to go, and I didn't know what direction to go in. And this was obviously before I knew anything about mindfulness. I knew anything about living my life in a certain way. And I was just numb. I was just shaking within myself. I was so scared. I probably would have cried. I had no idea what to do. And, when you get into a situation where there's no way you can turn, and you're just like, I can't get out. What do I do? And then, so the whole, I remember the whole inside my body would have been like, it's like a drain. Just everything feels like it's just swept out. And then my head goes fuzzy, and I just see white everywhere. And it was just the most sort of terrifying situation I was in. And it just needed my friends and family just to comfort me. And that's all I could do. And then just slowly the minutes, hours, days, weeks, months after that, obviously it just took me to just realize that this is something that isn't going to change. But that took a lot of waiting and wondering and questioning myself and questioning everyone else around me and questioning people who knew about prosopagnosia, because no one knows about it unless you're a doctor or unless you've sort of done some sort of thesis or something on it. So, it was a really scary time. I think one of the strongest and most sort of incredible ways of dealing with any situation which you're experiencing fear from is acceptance. And I can't really stress enough how important acceptance is. Countless times after that, I would see someone, I would observe the situation, I would know that I'd met this person before, and yet I would go, but I don't recognize them now. And straight away that would bring all these looming feelings, and my heart was going out my stomach, and I was going white again. But I was like, okay, you don't recognize them. That's something you can't change. I was like, I don't recognize them. Okay. And then obviously in my head, I was like, well, what do I do if I don't recognize them? It's like, but you're in front of them now. You're obviously scared. You don't want to sort of show your fear. So what else can you do? And so I would just learn to just look at them from a completely different perspective and different way to how I used to look at anyone else. I'd objectively look at myself, and by looking at it, obviously from this different angle, you take a completely different view of it, and you can understand why you, as the subject, is scared, but you're now looking on as the onlooker, going, I can see why they're scared, but I can also see that X, Y, and Z isn't going to happen, and this isn't the end of the world, and this isn't the end of a life, and there's just ways of dealing with it. It's just about looking at things from different angles, but in the present moment, and just learning that you can do everything within yourself, and you have the power just to do absolutely anything to help yourself along the way of whatever situation it is that's scaring you.